This is F121. This is the mainstream racing series. This is race number 21 out of 24. I'm the bar. Glad you're with us tonight. And bienvenido de Mexico. We are here in El Ciudad de Mexico, 2.2 kilometers of altitude, the highest racetrack of the Formula One Canada, highest in altitude. So in the real life Formula One, the teams struggle with downforce here due to the thin air, and someone has started our countdown already. We are 3 minutes early. That takes a bit of time from me away to show you what we intend to do here tonight. This is a quick glimpse about the track. 17 turns, 4.3 kilometers of length. Track difficulty is easy. Yes, it is. Just sector 2 gives some headaches, I want to call it, but there are plenty of run-out zones, so not the biggest issues. This is just what I mentioned right in these sections, in these turns. Right afterwards, this is right here, we turn into the Foro Sol, the baseball stadium of Mexico City. There you can see it from the sky view. Beautiful thing, very cool. Stands 45,000 approximately in there. In normal worlds, of course. We have 15 drivers who have checked in. Actually, we should have a bit more. We were somewhere close to a full grid. Not sure what happened on short notice, if some drivers had to drop out or might be in a little bit later. We will see about that. We have a 18 minutes qualifying followed by 50% race distance, what are I think 36 laps here in Mexico. So with 18 minutes qualifying remaining, if some of our drivers should join a little bit later, it shouldn't be a problem. And here we are already in the pit lane, and clear sky, beautiful Mexican weather, and but this is not always so. So we had seen a handful of rainy sessions or rain incoming in some sessions. So things can change over the time. Jeppe Nielsen, our monster, has already checked out. So he wants to have a special challenge, as it looks like. Special challenge means coming from the very back of the grid. Okay, why not? And the first who has turned to the track is this man, Gregory Mortier, our cook, he already joined our chat box. Good evening to you too, Greg. I hope you brought some good training results from lately. There he is already in these quick sections I was talking about. That will be important for especially here in the qualifying. And here we are into Foro Sol, slowest part of the track. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez was rebuilt a few years ago, and one part of it was this baseball stadium. And here we are on the long, tremendously long main straight, second longest in the whole year after Baku. And what is really important about it is the fact that it is the longest run down from the start till turn 1. And in turn 3 we see Mortier already with some trouble. Sector 1 is just 90-degree turns. We had seen 3 90 degrees, and here are another 4, left, right. right and right. It looks like he does have some front wing damage, so that might have caused some front downforce loss, and these are the fast turns, the fast section I talked about, and with limited downforce on the front wing, that does inflict some troubles to Mortier. Jack Rocknan's hot lap is ruined probably too. Nevertheless, we stay with Mortier, finishing our first hot lap through the baseball stadium. Rocknan just took the shortcut and will be back to the pits. Likewise is Mortier. Nevertheless, we have seen one hot lap here from the perspective of the Williams. And so, who else would it be? Mike Taylor it is, who delivered us the first time, the second Aston Martin, but he is already being beaten by everyone else who run a hot lap. That is Kieran Park, Dominic Walsh, Dylan Chapman, and Joel Wiegel. Wiegel and Chapman very close. A quarter of a tenth, the gap. Incredibly close. But the Alfa Romeo was a tad little bit faster. So as the quali evolves, let's have a first moment to have a look at some of our standings. We are in the fourth last race, so it means things get more and more crucial, more and more important here towards the end of here. The Drivers' Championship is still up for grabs, but Dominic Walsh in Mercedes does have some advantage with 306 points. He sits 23 points ahead of his brother Thomas Walsh. 23, is it much or is it not? It is hard to tell. Anyway, the last four races all have some sort of playoff character for Thomas Walsh. He must win, or at least finish ahead of his brother in each of the last four races, and then we will see if he might have a chance in the finale to grab his first ever championship, or if it will be Dominic Walsh's second championship after winning our inaugural Season 1. Further, Dylan Chapman is in third, but already behind by something around 80 points, so he has just some theoretical chances. And in fourth sits Jeppe Nielsen, the monster XD 9000, who had a pretty good start to the season, but then got out of rhythm somehow and dropped down behind both the Walshes now in the championship race. So here we have a look at Jagger Rognan, who is still on an out lap. Everyone is sitting in each garage. Now it's Gregory Mortier again, who was going out on his second hot lap. On his second try, we were right with him on his first try when he probably hurt his front wing and therefore did not post a competitive lap time. Let's see if he can be a bit more successful here on his second run. Further, there are still battles that still need to be fought, that still need to be decided in our overall standings. For example, Iggy Lai against Rognan. Also, Iggy Lai, one of the Ferraris, is inactive for tonight. He was one of them who had to pull out on short notice because a family member did not feel very well. Fingers crossed, of course, for the Lai family that everything will be fine eventually. Lai and Rognan are battling for 5th overall. Then there are, of course, a whole lot of midfield battles. Mike Taylor versus Blake Gary, for example, or Nevis Ikic, Leonard Cam, Trilla Gorilla, Simo very close. Simo, by the way, who is sadly inactive tonight again. One of the fastest drivers, just does have some yeah, long-term problems. Can't really get a rhythm in the new game. Was blistering fast in the old game in F1 2020, but as soon as 21 came out, you could really watch him decline on his abilities. What is very sad, of course. But okay, it is as it is, and maybe slash hopefully he will get back to a better shape when we turn towards season 4 then. And yeah, some more midfield battles, but those are a bit too much to describe it all right here. We will just have to wait and see how things evolve in the last 3 or 4 races that are still yet to come. In the Constructors' Championship, things are a lot clearer. Mercedes leading the way with 539 points. Almost 200 over Aston Martin, so no question who will be Constructors' Champion. Just like in the real life, this is more or less safe for the Mercedes boys already. So 9 minutes left equals we are at the midway mark of our quali, and it is Achter Lücken who has snatched the pole. Meanwhile, special thing about him, Jelle his name, and he is racing with some sort of problems of his controller. He won last week, even though his race engineer Sam Gobert told me afterwards that his controller did have some faults or malfunctions, but he was able to win. Today he already told us earlier that he is still troubling somehow with his gamepad. The new one will arrive tomorrow, so you have to push through somehow one last evening. But as things look like, you aren't the slowest on this old damaged gamepad, and quick hint from me, don't throw it out of the window again when the new one arrives. P5 now is still in Chapman. He was a lot higher earlier, but has been ranked downwards, relegated to 5th. He had a bit more than 3/10 of improvement towards his first hard lap. Let's see what he'll do now. And he's up in 3 again. 2.3 behind Achter Lücken by the name of Jelle Verhooyen. I hope I pronounced it correctly. The Danishman Jelle Verhooyen. I will have to look it up a few more times, I'm afraid, tonight. So Verhooyen has just turned onto a new hot lap. Let's stay with him here for a moment. With 7 minutes on the clock, he is at the end of sector 1, improving by half a tenth. Not a lot that you can win in the first sector. It's just pedal to the metal and travel through the 90-degree turns more or less safely. Sector 2 is the one where times are won or lost, right there where he is at the moment. Let's sit on board onto his shoulder for these fast turns. And that I think was not so good. Not sure. Yes, he is down by a second. Not sure if it was just this only one turn that he had troubles with, or if it was something else that bugged him too. But it is as it is, and he will not abort the lap, run another one. Even though this lap does not give him any improvements, and that will mean if he will post his pole time on this set of tire, that he will have one additional lap on this starting tire. Then let's see what sector 1 brings for him. Nothing yet. In second, the opossum, that is Keo Laubik. The game rules him on an hot lap. It is more or less hot, 24 thousandths. He is behind his first lap time. I wanted to jump to Andrew Mant, who told us in the chat box that he was on an out lap again. Sadly, he aborted it before I had the chance to jump to him. Nevertheless, let's stay with the single Ferrari, who is troubled there in turn, what is it, turn 10 or something. Just as much as Verhoeven was a few minutes or moments earlier. And he is again not on an improvement. So this lap will not do the trick for him, and that is the reason why he has aborted it. And Joel Wiegel has checked out. Joel Wiegel has crashed there in sector 1 in those quick turns. Let's have a look. I'm afraid Rockman will not come there quickly enough to show it to us. There we see the wreckage. There we see the Alfa Romeo pointing in the wrong way. And Rognan is a lot faster through these intermediate sector, but only improving by 72 thousandths. That would not even be enough to attack P3 ahead of him. Let's see what he can do here in Photosol. Not bad, not bad. Very close on the inside here, and it is an improvement, 72 thousandths. But that will only back up his time to defend P4, not enough to attack Chapman in third. Yeah, Sam Gowitz, good evening to you. If I understand you correctly, you are having some spinning right now. You are bicycle riding. I hope that you do it at home in your living room while watching F1. Not that I or we cause you to commit an accident from watching stuff while riding on your bicycle. And so with 3 minutes left on the clock, let's see. Rognan is still trying it. Second hot lap for the Haas driver, but just barely improving, not enough to attack Chapman again. So this tire will have one additional lap on his age, and he is running it to the end. No, he did not. He aborted it very, very late. I'm not sure what that was about, but he is, I think, finished. I doubt that there will be some time to find for him in the ongoing quali. Yeah, he is finished. Rognan finished maximally in fourth. Let's have a look what else is going on. What is going on with Dominic Walsh? There he is, our championship contender number 1. With more than 2 minutes on the clock, he is already on his potentially final hot lap. That is a bit out of sync, a bit out of rhythm. But he is not the only one. Chapman, his teammate, is doing so too. And Dominic Walsh is slow. Have a look. There was some problem, some error, some fault for him in sector 1. Could that mean that Dominic Walsh is already finished for this qualifying? Doesn't look so good for our number 1 championship contender. What is Mike Taylor doing at the end of sector 2? 2/10 in his hands. That could enable him to attack maybe the second starting row if he finds a bit more time here in Photosol, and in the end it is P6, just 1/10 the improvement, so he lost a bit of time in the end. P6, not sure if he can add on to that, if he can have another hot lap. Dylan Chapman is just starting his hot lap here, had a second out lap, so to speak. 2 warm-up laps for his tires needed. Verhoeven, Achterlüken, no improvement for him. So in theory, he and Chapman and Dom Walsh can run another one. No, Dom Walsh cannot. Dominic Walsh is finished maximally in 9th. Dominic Walsh is out of the qualifying, and Yeah, what is his brother doing? He is sitting in a even worse spot. Thomas Walsh, P11 only, and 1/10 the improvement in Sector 1. That is by far not enough. So his brother is struggling. That could be a big chance for him, but he needs to grab it, of course. Sector 2 looked pretty smooth here for the older Walsh. He is improving now by 3/10, but that is just enough to be somewhere close to Dominic. What does he do in Sector 3? The slowest parts of the track. One more right-hander left, and then he is in P5. Big improvement in the end, so there was some problem for him in his first hot lap in the last sector. P5, not bad. And that pushed Dominic Walsh out of the top 10, means he will have 3 tire options. And very late, in the very end, very last chance, it is Keo Lauwik who snatched the pole. He was half a tenth behind Verhoeven the whole quali long. And in the very, very last end, he jumped ahead and grabbed the pole over the 1:14.5. What is, I think, 3 or 4 seconds faster than the real life lap record. Yeah, we are all waiting for Leonard Cam, our sole Scotsman, to be pushed back into the garage. Then the quali has officially ended. And I'm still wondering what Dominic Walsh did. If he just wasn't quick enough, or if that was some sort of strategic tweak so that he can start on medium tires for the race. We will find out about that in a bit, if that was a good thing to do or not. Here is our starting grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. Keo Lauwik in the pole, just next to Vejele Verhoeven. 3rd, Dylan Chapman. 4th, Rockman. 5th, Thomas Walsh. 6th, Grimo Goodman. 7th, Joel Wiegel. 9th, Mike Taylor. P10, Andrew Mond. 11th is Kieran Park. 10th is Kieran Park. 11th, Dominic Walsh. 3 tire options onwards. Then Stuart McDonald, Nevis Ikic, Gregory Mortier, and no time set for Jeppe Nielsen. So our drivers have around about half a minute left to opt their best tire strategy. And here is the blue sky of Mexico, dry race, at least the start. And I will have a short sip and we'll be back with you in a moment. So here we are again, lap 0 of 36. Keo Lauwik in the Ferrari is pushing pretty hard. He is already almost in sector 2. He is in sector 2 when some drivers are still at the long main straight. So He should slow down maybe a little bit in order to warm up his tires a bit more. Nevertheless, he will know what he is doing, I suppose. Pirelli is convinced that we are into a two-stop race. Some versions of red, red, yellow, red, yellow, yellow, or something like this. We will see how things unfold. We will see the top 11 are all on softs. Means Dominic Walsh, who had the free tire options, still went for softs. That is interesting. Would mean you could suggest that he maybe just had some quickness issues there in the quali and did not do this on purpose. And then Stuart McDonald in 12th and Gregory Mortier in 14th both opted to start on hards. Ikic and Jeppe Nielsen will start on mediums. I don't like the hards start so much because you have so much less grip on the early get-go in the early phase of the race, and second, you have just one set of hards, so you cannot have a early pit stop because you have ruined your set of white tire then. Nevertheless, the 5 red lights and then the MRS Mexican Grand Prix. Here we go, go, go. Good start from Lauvik. Achterlücken maybe not so much. He is already under attack from Ragnan. Here is Ragnan. 3-way battle into the first turn. Achterlücken is fast in the second stages of the long straight and now in the lead. Now in the lead. Ragnan had to pull back and that opened the door for Thomas Walsh up in third. Grimo 5th, Mike Taylor 6th. Good start for the Aston Martins. Both more or less likewise. And then in the background, I think nothing too big happened. At least I didn't see any big malfunctions. Loser of the start for sure is Dylan Chapman, who is down to P9. Oh, and front wing damage for Joel Wiegel. Joel Wiegel, there is an end plate missing. So there was some actions somehow, somewhere. And Dominic Walsh is already up into 7th. While Chapman lost another position. Maybe there is a damage on the Chapman Mercedes as well. Couldn't see it on the front wing. Let's have a look. Wiegel will turn into the pits for sure. And yeah, Chapman does so too. Wiegel and Chapman both into the pits. And Kieran Park as well. The Red Bull did not see what happened there. But he needs a new nose likewise. Let's have a look about the tires for those 3 early stoppers. Hard, hard, hard. All of them intend to go long. So the bottom of the grid, 11th until 15th, are all running on hards now, while Achterlücken is in the lead, but he is under pressure here from Keo Lauvik. I am a bit sad that we do not have a replay option as spectators here for F1 21, because the start would have been very, very interesting. If you watch on YouTube, you can scroll back in time. I would recommend you to do so, because Keo Lauvik seemed to have the better start. He had the better get-go, but then something happened on the second half, the second stage of the long straight, and there was attack. There was some sort of contact from Keo Lauvik and the barrier. Let's hope that it was just the tire and not the front wing that connected. He is searching the slipstream here, DRS enabled, but we have to run through the detection once. Oh, Achterlücken with some troubles. He had troubles on accelerating, and that opened the door for Keo Lauvik. Lauvik is through in the lead. Achterlücken still close, wheel to wheel into sector 2. Better lane for Lauvik. That should work. Yes, it did work. And yellow behind. There was some yellow behind. Who was it? Maybe Ikic, maybe Mortier, who had a short spin, nothing too big, everything's green again already. And Achterlücken Jelle Verheuye will be angry that he had his short lapse on acceleration. Not sure which traction setting he is running on, but obviously he had a bit too much of wheel spin out of turn 3. So now he is the one who has to chase the Ferrari, but on the other hand, he is the one who will have the eyes opened up right here. Yes, it is. The Williams is split. Thomas Walsh behind, so as well. And he's getting closer, closer, closer. Too far away for an attack, of course, but that might come a little bit later. So Lauvik the leader, but sometimes it makes it a little bit more fun to be the hunter, and that is the situation that Verheuye is in now. Not here, of course. Sector 2, it is rather problematic to follow the driver ahead, Mike Taylor, and Grimo has swapped positions, but that's not over yet. Oh, midfield battle, and Grimo has spun out. Grimo has spun. Oh my. Good race from Goodman thus far, but you just cannot go wheel to wheel into these fast turns of Sector 2, and Grimo paid the price for it. He's still running. He did not touch the wall, I think, so just a little bit of extra tire degradation, but everything else is fine. Just when I say it, he almost runs into the barrier there on the exit of Photosol. So, quick look back to the lead change, lead battle at least. It changed for a split second, and it is Achterlücken still chasing. Now he uncorks it ahead of turn 4. Battle lane, but the Ferrari is battling with all he has. But now the Williams is through. Oh, there was attack. There was a short touch from the Ferrari front wing into the Williams rear, but potentially no damage, at least it doesn't seem like. It even seems like the Ferrari of Keo Lauvik is traveling through the fast turns a little bit better than the Williams. That could mean that Lauvik is racing with a tad bit more of downforce than Verheuye. And this will be interesting now, because this man, Thomas Walsh, isn't far away either. Everyone in the DRS window, DRS is supplied by Verheuye, Achterlücken, Opossum attacking on the outside. This worked pretty easily. Thomas Walsh can not take advantage as well, but the next DRS zone is right here. And Achterlücken should not, yes, he does not have DRS. Thomas Walsh, yes, he does. But he's too far away. He is too far away to attack, and right behind him is Rognan and then Mike Taylor, Thomas Walsh's teammate in the other Aston Martin. So the top, what is it? Top 5, very close together. Lauvik in the Ferrari, supplying everyone indirectly with DRS. What's happening? Lauvik was slow. Lauvik was in the run-out zone. He had a momentary lapse there in the intermediate sector, and that caused him to drop down to 5th. My goodness. How costly was that? Oh my. And have a look who's right behind him. Mr. D. Walsh. So this is the view of Dominic Walsh. He has actually everything ahead of him. Everything. The lead of the race indirectly is ahead of him. This will be interesting. The mainstream racing series has developed into one of the most entertaining F1 virtual F1 leagues in the world, in the F1 community. And we have seen I don't know how many multiple different race winners this season. Nevis Ikic, I think, has spun in Sector 2. We have a VSC. VSC. Yes, because Ikic is noseless. That was a heavy impact, not just a turn or spin. There was some heavy wall collision. And now no one of the top 6, please, no one exceed the delta times. No one, please, catch yourself a drive-through penalty. We do not want our races to be decided on penalties. We want racing action. The S is enabled, means VSC has ended. No drive-through handed out, that is good. But somehow, have a look, somehow Rogner lost it a bit. Rogner lost a bit on gap. He is 1.4 seconds now behind Tom Walsh. Means he cannot open up the rear wing, and that invites Mike Taylor, and he's through. It worked rather easily, I would like to say. And now Dominic Walsh here in the background behind the rear wing, not close enough to attack. So that could come up pretty soon. Jelle Verhooyen after Lücken leading the way still. He is fast enough on the straights to be not to be attacked from the drivers behind. Now he's even over a second away from Thomas Walsh. That would mean Tom Walsh is out of the DRS window, at least momentarily, but we had seen the first pit stop already from one of the top drivers. That was Keo Laubik, so maybe let's see if the pit window has opened. Not for Achter Lücken, not for Tom Walsh, not for Mike Taylor. Nope. Oh, yes, for Mike Taylor. Hiding under the roof. There he is. Let's stay with Taylor real quick. Red to yellow, so he will have to stop again. He might speculate on a later safety car phase, I could imagine. Let's see where he will be track-wise. He will be behind Lauvik, right next to Lauvik, so that is important for the others, the other pit stoppers later. The Circle of Doom, how it is called, because Jelle Verhooyen would hope, I would suggest, I would like to believe that he might come out of the pits ahead of Leonard Cam. On the other hand, Mike Taylor, if he is held up by them, that could cost him some time on the other race winner slash podium contenders. So let's see who else will pit, if there is someone to pit. Jelle Verhooyen does not, and Tom Walsh is close again. Rogner pitted. Let's focus on this battle here. Tom Walsh against Jelle Verhooyen. Ties it up. And is through. Verhooyen looked pretty fast on the straight, but this time there was actually no chance to defend for the Williams. Again, DRS in favor of Aston Martin here, because there is just one detection mark for both those DRS zones, and when we run over it, it was Tom Walsh who got the activation. And Tom Walsh first, Dominic Walsh now third. Of course, due to some pit stops. But Achter Lücken has caught himself a 3 seconds penalty for exceeding the track limits. The ice zone now for the Williams. Tom Walsh had to defend himself a little bit by I expect him to pit now, to just take the maximum out of the moment. No, he doesn't, but Verhoeven pits. Achterlücken pits in. Let's have a look where he will be track-wise then. He was ahead of Rocknan and Taylor in 7th and 8th. Let's see how close he will be then to them after his pit stop. Let's have a look at the mini-map. The red bubble is the Ferrari and it looks not so good for Achterlücken. Have a look. He is behind Keolauvik but barely ahead of Rocknan. So the undercut worked. The undercut from the Ferrari of Keolauvik worked to get ahead of Achterlücken. So let's have a look. Oh, he is fast against the Ferrari, both on rather fresh mediums, and he is ahead of Lauvik. But he is battling, and that will cost him time. That will cost time for Jelle Verhoeven, and that could be the deciding factor for the Walshes, both the Walshes potentially, to stay ahead of Achterlücken and Lauvik and Taylor and Rocknan and everyone. So let's see if they are pitting in. No, they are not. Oh my. I'm not sure if that wasn't maybe a bit of a mistake for both the Walshes. They should have just taken the times advantage, but if you don't have a race engineer, you don't know, of course, and they tend to not listen to me. Both the Walshes have a PlayStation chat room open. They talk to each other instead of listening to the broadcaster who supplies them with information. Some drivers do. I know that Andrew Mann, for example, does so. I think Jeppe Nielsen does so. Gregory Mortier does so. I know that for sure. But the Walsh bros do not. So another DRS zone in favor of the younger Walsh, the young one hunting the older, with Mama Walsh and Granddad Walsh watching, as far as I heard. Aha, and Dominic Walsh takes the undercut. Dominic Walsh undercutting things against his brother was slow enough, just at the very last moment. No penalty for him. Red to yellow. And all eyes on the minimap. He will not stay ahead. Can that be possible? He will not stay ahead of Jelle Verhoeven and Mike Taylor and Lauvik. Oh my. So if you wanted some example how an undercut worked, here it is. Here is the best example how or why undercuts are a vital strategic option. And have a look, Thomas Walsh has lost the lead to Jeppe Nielsen, I suppose, because the 12 laps old mediums are in a better condition than the 12 lap old softs are. So while Dominic Walsh has lost the tire strategy battle against Verhoeven, Taylor, Lauvik, it could mean that Tom Walsh will lose the tire battle against at least Dominic Walsh, and that would be really huge for our championship battle. But no, Thomas Walsh insists to go on a one-stop strategy. He will stop just once for Hartz, and Wiegel is out. Joel Wiegel is out. Safety car. Ooh, dangerous spot. My goodness, dangerous spot there. Joel Wiegel standing awkwardly as a barrier on the road, but the track marshals were quick to getting rid of his wreckage. Oh no, Nevis Ikic drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car conditions. Rocknan and Leonard Cam the teammates. Oh my, the teammates. Rocknan has to wait behind Stuart McDonald. He opts for mediums. Oof. 21 laps to go. Yeah, I'm not sure if he can make the duration on this set of rubber. On hards you could, but not sure if you can on mediums. So, and let's have a look what that brings for us strategy wise. I am very sure that Nielsen and Tom Walsh will pit in now, and they will lose a lot less on times then. Nielsen in, Tom Walsh in, both go into the pits. No penalty. Nielsen on softs, okay. I'm not sure if I understand what happened here. Jeppe Nielsen on fresh softs. He will be the quickest on the restart then, but he will have to stop again. And Tom Walsh is behind his brother after the pit stop. What did I say? Playoff character for Thomas Walsh if he wants to be champion. And right now he would lose the playoff match. Depending on which sports we talk about, you cannot lose a playoff match because that is the end of your season then. Wouldn't go so far for this situation. Between 4th and 5th there is only 2 points of discrepancy, so 2 points is not the biggest loss, but he should be on the gaining end, not on the losing end, in case Tom Walsh wants to keep his championship hopes alive. So we have, I suppose, still at least one more lap of safety car. I will have a short sip of my water bottle and we'll be back with you in a moment. So here we are again, watching Jelle Verheugen almost overtaking Bernd Mailänder. They go wheel to wheel into turn 1. Yeah, interesting battle we have here. Reminds me of the good old Lewis Hamilton radios that Mylander should go faster. But maybe he's just trying to run away from Jeppe Nielsen because he is anxious of the Danishman, who will have fresh softs for the restarts. Further, we see Nevis Ikic, who still have a draft penalty in his backpack, and Kieran Park, who opted to start or restart on softs. But they all will have to stop again, while the rest of the field is running on more or less fresh mediums. Fresh for everyone besides Andrew Mant. Not sure though if you can run to the end of the race on a set of medium from now onwards. Safety car will be in this lap. Andrew Mant, who told us that he is rather happy about this safety car phase because he had a very, very lonely race, not seeing a car in half an hour. Not sure if it was half an hour, but I know that lonely races can be very boring. I'm sorry. Bernd Meilander turns towards the pit lane. Achterlücken is still slow. Now he can be overtaken. Ooh, that was not a good restart from the Belgian man. Have a look, everyone is there behind him. A whole wolf pack there behind. My goodness, what is this mess here in Mexico? Achterlücken still the first one into the turn, and Jeppe Nielsen has crashed out, or was crashed. Jeppe Nielsen is running. Oh, and it was Grimmo Goodman. Oh, Mark Goodman, who had such a good restart. And Nielsen and Goodman are now trailing in the very back of the grid. Oh my, and Mike Taylor had a problem too. Mike Taylor was somewhere. Oh wow, he is lacking a full front wing. Oh, he had a good race too. Mike Taylor was in a good race as well. And all of them, yeah, more or less ran out each other. But it was, yeah, it was more or less obvious to come because you just cannot go everyone into turn one. Uncountable how many drivers were there gaggled up in one big pile of cars. All of that caused a little bit because of the very slow restart of Jelle Verheuye. Some Mugello memory comes to my mind. Mike Taylor has made it one whole lap without front wing. We'll get the new one here. And here's the leader again, Jelle Verheuye. And then Rognan in second. Dominic Walsh is third, while his brother Tom is sitting in fifth. So pressure on Tom Walsh, pressure on the number one Aston Martin. He needs to get past Stuart McDonald. Where did he come from? My goodness. Stuart McDonald, I think he had one very well timed pit stop. Took a lot of advantage out of the safety car phase. Tom Walsh showing himself in the rearview mirror. The Aston Martin looks a lot faster here than the Haas. But just a steady little reminder that we race on equal car performances, of course. So if he's faster, that is not because he is racing a Russian-American car. And he is already through. Didn't even need DRS. Yes, he is through. Will he stay through? Yes, he will. DRS is activated already, but we need to pass the activation zones, of course. No counter-attack from McDonald, and now at least Tom can see Dom again. Now we would be to a plus 3 points gap for the Dominatrix watch, at least in this season. An interesting thing, because in the first third of the race we saw the top 5 or top 6 more or less into each other's DRS window. Now we don't see it, because if you have a look at the table, the top 5 are all around a second stretched out of the driver ahead. So no DRS battles looming here right now, just it is Jagger Rockman and Lauvik who are in each other's DRS window. What's happening here? Chapman ahead of McDonald. VSC. Oh my, VSC. Did not see what happened. Let's browse through the field a bit. Everything looks fine. We see Morty in the pits. That could have caused it. Gregory Morty needed a new nose. That potentially caused this VSC. But luckily only virtual. Jeppe Nielsen was in the pits too, getting himself a fresh set of mediums. He will be able to run through the race on this set, or to the end of the race on this set. Yeah, I think it was some problem, some tangling from Mortier who caused this VSC, and we have a drive-through penalty against Keo Lauvik for speeding under VSC condition. Lauvik, that is sad. He had a pretty good first phase in the race, but then somehow dropped down a bit and maybe now ruined it totally with the drive-through penalty. The field is pretty close to each other, means he will be somewhat last then and takes the penalty immediately. While Rognan is attacking Jelle Verheuye already, at least he tries. We know that after Lücken, Jelle Verheuye still has a 3-second penalty carrying it with him. What would mean that Rognan just needs to stay inside a 3 seconds window and he will be the race winner anyway. But we all know Rognan since season 1, so one of the older drivers, at least older by time of membership. And we all know that he wants to decide this on the track. He doesn't want to wait for penalties to be added. He wants to hunt him down. He posted earlier in the chat box, Chinks Rockman, that he was not so much satisfied with his pole time, his quality time, and his race results, I think, made it pretty obvious that he does have some strong pace here in Mexico, home of Speedy Gonzalez, quickest master Mexico. And let's see when or how long after Lücken can stay ahead. He can probably still stay ahead because he has his battery of ERS pretty much filled up, but that battery will be drained sooner or later. We can see on the display of Rognan's wheel that he is something around 52%, I think, of ERS energy. Let's have a quick, let's wait a moment for the attack. Not really an attack, but Achter Lücken had to defend. And Achter Lücken, Williams is a little bit smaller, harder to see, but he's on a similar ERS load, I think. There would be some options of activating the telemetry, but I don't like it. I like the race being broadcasted in something like a TV perspective. And here's the attack. Rognan just drives by him. Kiss, kiss. Goodbye, you Achterlücken. Bit of locked front right tire, but everything okay. Yeah, not so good on the acceleration, but he'll have the ice right again here. Yellow in sector 2. Oh, safety car because Mortier has crashed. Gregory Mortier has crashed. Second safety car phase. I think we will not be there quickly enough that Rockman can show it. But Mortier has DNF. Oh my. Mike Taylor immediately turned towards the pit lane or towards the pits. And this is the moment for all of them who were uncertain if they can run to the end on their set of mediums. This is now the moment to take a second or third and last pit stop. Let's see who it will be who will turn towards the pits. I expect Achterlücke to pit in. Let's see what the Walshes will do. Rognan, does he pit? Yes or no? No for Rognan, yes for Verhoeven. Tom Walsh does not, but Tom does. This is now maybe the big difference in this race. I want to quote a former German F1 commentator who said, "This pit stop is either very right or very wrong." The quote is from Brazil 2007, when a very young Lewis Hamilton had his first chance for a championship and obviously opted for the wrong tire in the drizzle of Sao Paulo, and Kimi Räikkönen won the World Championship by 1 point ahead of the McLarens, Hamilton and Alonso. And the quote is from Jacques Schulz. The maybe a little bit older German fellows will still know him. Not sure if Nevis Ekic knows him. He is my fellow German mate. Yeah, anyway, so we will have us, I think, at least one more lap of safety car, and for me that's the time to have another short sip, and I'm back with you in a moment. So safety car will be in this lap. Bit a late moment, I want to call it. So once again, we will have us a very short sector 3, but Rognan already picked up the pace. And he is gone and away. Tom Walsh in second for the moment on the better end of the Walshes, but Dominic with his fresh softs should close up to him very quickly. And yeah, right now I think and feel that it was the wrong decision for Tom Walsh not to stop, but I understand that he just has to take some sort of risk sooner or later in order to make up those 23 points. He is behind his younger brother. And here's another one, Dylan Chapman. Have a look, where did he come from? Dylan Chapman. He had a good quali, then a catastrophe start, and he is back in a potential podium situation. And with 11 laps old mediums in the lead, I am not sure if they will hold up. Achterlücken! Jelle Verheugen. That was an unexpected, surprising attack from the Belgian man. Surprised everyone, including me. Sam Gowett in the chat box. He is again the race engineer of Jelle Verheugen while taking some spinning, and he said that pit stop was the right thing to do. Yeah, I think so too. Achterlücken and Dominic Walsh will show it to us. Dom Walsh already fourth. Some bold prediction, 9 laps to go. Dominic Walsh will win this race. Dominic Walsh will win the race. Both the soft runners will cut through the mediums, and in the end, Achterlücken with his 3 seconds penalty will give away the race victory to Dominic Walsh, and then, depending on the finishing position for Tom Walsh, but then it is going to be very hard in the last 3 races for the older Walsh to do anything if he wants to win the championship. So that is one bold prediction, 9 laps to go. Prove me wrong or right in approximately 10 minutes. DRS is now enabled. Towards the end of the lap we will see DRS attacks. Here is the young Walsh already in the rear view mirror of the older Walsh, and he will shake his head. He will be disappointed, maybe even angry about the situation he is in and that he did not stop. But if I have it in my mind correctly, I think Tom Walsh was ahead of Dom, so Dominic had the better situation of reacting, of doing something different than the driver ahead. Nevertheless, Jack Rognan is still leading, but that is just a question of time. Jelle Verheugen, Achterlücken with the faster tire, very close behind him, plus DRS activated in this short zone here. And these two facts together will combine in a lead change in a few hundred meters. Once through Forosol to right-handers and then pedal to the metal, and I expect Jelle Verheugen to lead when we reach turn 1 or latest in turn 4. Long straight, he zooms into, uncorks it, drives just by. Goodbye, you chinks. Still, or again, the eyes in his favor. Yellow in sector 1. That's behind us. Oh, that was Nevis Ikic. Nevis Ikic spun between turn 1 and 2. So the only thing what could cause Dominic Walsh not to win this race is if Rognan and Tom Walsh both the old medium runners, hold up Tom Walsh long enough that Jelle Verheugen could pull away by 3 or more seconds. That is the only situation I could imagine how or why Dominatrix Walsh would not win, and Mike Taylor is out. Mike Taylor is out. Let's see. Safety car! Oh my! Safety car number 3. Can we depict it? Can I show it to you? There's the car in the run-out zone. Not sure if that late safety car was really necessary, but we will have us a Abu Dhabi moment here in Mexico. Oh, tons of pit stops, so late, 5.5 laps remaining in the race, and we have half the field that pits in now. That will change everything. Dominic Walsh pitted again, my goodness! Why did Dom Walsh pit again? There must have been something happening, and Dom Walsh has a penalty. Dominic Walsh has a penalty, a 5 seconds against Dominic Walsh, and guess what? I sadly didn't depict it because I was trying to get in the wreckage of Mike Taylor. And that was, I am very sure about the fact that Dominic Walsh has tagged the rear of his brother, therefore got a 5 seconds penalty and needed a new nose in the pits. Oi. Okay, so I potentially will be wrong. There might really not be a win for Dominic Walsh, but this is only because of some heavy Abu Dhabi stuff going on here. Let's have a quick look at the penalties. The +3 of Achterlücken we know already, a +3 for Kieran Park, and each a +5 Dom Walsh and Keo Lauvik. And this +5 for Dom Walsh could get so damn costly because the field is close now. The field is packed, bunched up together. Means 5 seconds are double of worth if many drivers are close. Lauvik pits. Sam Go, but holy moly, this race, totally. And the incredible fact is that, especially in the last few weeks, a month, every MRS race was a holy moly race. The last few weeks, my girlfriend was pretty annoyed and angry on me because I was so loud and screaming in the last few laps of each MRS race lately, because things were so exciting and you just couldn't predict anything with those tremendous moves up and back and forth and whatever. And today is it just again the same. So we have 4.5 laps remaining. I suppose that Bernd Mailänder will turn into his garage for third and final time, hopefully, at the end of this lap. And then we see Jack Rognan, who had such a good race, okay quality, really good race, but now he will lose it. Rognan will drop down very far because, have a look, he is the only one who is going on rather old mediums, everyone around him on pretty fresh softs. Only exception is Kieran Park, but he's carrying a penalty, so yeah. Let's restart it again. Third restart, fourth start, including the first one. Achterlücken is leading the way, and Rognan is already under pressure. Rognan immediately under pressure from Kieran Park, and even more by both the Walshes, especially Tom. Tom Walsh, outside lane, wow, around Kieran Park. Yes, on his pressure tire, he is able to just run circles around Park. And now already chasing Rockdown. No DRS, of course. We will have DRS for just the 2 last laps. And oh, Jeppe Nielsen is out! Jeppe Nielsen is out! Sadly cannot jump to him, but there was a crash between Nielsen and Laubik. Nielsen and Opossum both are out. Sadly, I couldn't jump to them anymore. Still yellow, still yellow. Will it be another safety car? Another safety car. Oh my. Fourth safety car in this race. My personal high score is 5. I had once broadcasted the L2S community love to smoke retires, and we had us a championship finale in Abu Dhabi. We had 28 laps with 5 safety cars, so faces, and I will really not forget this race because the first time the DRS was activated was in lap 24 out of 28. Yep. Yeah, and now, what does this change? I repeat one sentence I spoke out a few laps ago. We have us a Abu Dhabi moment here, again. Let's see when the MRS Michael Masi will call in Bernd Mailänder. The MRS Michael Masi, by the way, is no one less than Sir David Lawson. David Lawson, founder of MRS. He is Dominicali, Chase Carey, Bernie Ecclestone, and Michael Masi in one person. And David Lawson from his couch has called the cell phone of Bernd Mailänder and said 1 lap is enough. And another restart. He is still slow after Lucan, still slow, piling up everyone behind him. Wow, what is that? What incredible restart is this? Another huge moment. Ikic is out, crashing on the main straight. We saw it in the background, and Kieran Park too. Ikic took out Park, or other way around, I'm not sure. And the big question about the Walsh is Thomas Walsh is out. Thomas Walsh and Dom both. My goodness. Have a look. Dominic Walsh in 5th, but Tom is front wingless. Oh, and Dominic Walsh spins out. Both the Walshes are... Are they out? Are they not? I am not sure. They are still running as we have less than 10 finishes. Both the Walshes will make points, but that is a very, very sad end to this once again Walsh internal battle. P7 and 8 both will have a pit stop, so this is potentially the final result in the family duel. Okay, I mentioned it. Thomas Walsh, playoff races for him. He needs to finish ahead of his brother, and he does so. And he makes up points. Just 2 of them, but he made up some. Yeah, and we are in the final lap. This is maybe another chapter of hashtag broadcasters curse that I was called already a few times, because I predicted a Dominic Walsh victory, and then everything fell apart for the younger Walsh. Achterlücken is still leading it. He is coming towards his final sector, and have a look who is in second. Grimo Goodman, Mark Goodman, who had a spin in the early phases of the race. He was not last but buried in the midfields, and now he is second, and with a penalty of Jelle Verhooyen, Grimo Goodman will win his second MIS Grand Prix for the moment. Congratulations to Achterlücken for just 1.5 seconds, and Mark Goodman is first. Can you believe it? Mark Goodman crawled through all the chaos ahead of him. He stayed clear through the whole race, and yeah, just was there in the very late moment. Big surprise falling into his hands here. Congratulations to the Alpine for his second MRS Grand Prix victory, his second of his esports career. Congrats, Mark Goodman. Good race likewise for Jelle Verhooyen, finishing in second then just because of his 3 seconds penalty he earned him through midway of the race. And in P3, Jack Rognan defending a podium. Good result for him on these very old shoot-up mediums against the fresh soft runners. If there weren't so many safety car phases in the end, I expect he would have dropped far further behind. Sam Gobert said that you have to study. I would say so too. Would be cool if you were racing with us, but study and real life is always more important, of course. Grimo takes a bow for us and now has received his trophy and a few liters of virtual champagne. Yeah, once again, what an incredible race. One of the most exciting leagues ever to exist in virtual racing. Grimo Goodman has won it, just ahead of Jelle Verhooyen and Jack Rognan. 4th, Dylan Chapman. 5th, Stuart McDonald. 6th goes to Andrew Mann. P7, Thomas Walsh. P8, Dominic Walsh. Battle of the Walshes, this time in a slight favor for Thomas. Not finished, but still in classification, Kieran Park, Nevis Ikic, Jeppe Nielsen, and Kio Laubig. And definitely not finished are Mike Taylor, Gregory Mortier, and Joel van Wiegel. Whew, what a race that was. Once again, what a race that was. This has been race number 21 of 24, means 3 are still yet to come. That is Singapore, Zandvoort, and in the very end, the one that no one can predict, the Cheddar Street Circuit. So next Wednesday, oh hello David Stones, nice to see you again. You mostly rewatch the races as far as I know. I always see your comment through the rest of the week. Nice that you have checked in live for tonight. Yeah, and who could have predicted that? Indeed, wow. Not only Grimo, but many drivers who had a really good result late in this race. Yeah, so the Mainstream Racing Series will continue next week's Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. UK time, 8:30 p.m. Continental. The stream goes online 5 to 10 minutes earlier approximately. If you want to be notified, please hit the subscribe button and you will get a message from YouTube when I start the stream. I hope you will be back with us then next week when we turn to Singapore. Totally different track, totally different character. And have a good night, have a good rest of your week, have a good weekend then, and hope to see you around again. stay safe in these times, and keep racing.